Hi everyone, and welcome to DinMo, the Composable CDP. Today I will be showing you how to target email non-openers with digital ad campaigns in order to re-engage them. I'm going to demonstrate two different ways to create the segment we want to include in our media campaigns to engage these non-openers. For the first way, I start by creating a new segment. There are three options, either a custom segment, an event segment, or a customer segment. We are going to create a customer segment. I then will be able to add conditions on my customers. In this case, I want to filter on all customers. Then I add conditions on the email behavior to get my non-openers. So I select email events as my related model, with an event count of 1. Then we filter the type of event, in this case the email, opened by target customers. We create a timestamp and we mention that this event has not occurred in the last 2 months. I then preview the data. As you can see, there are 612 non-openers. Once I have defined the criteria for my target audience, I can proceed to generate a new segment based on those conditions. I begin by giving my segment a name. For example, email non-openers 2M. Next, I add a summary of the segment. Users who have not opened email in 2 months. Then, I create this new segment. There is a second way to create this audience by filtering the email openers from the full customer audience exclusion. For this, we will create 2 new segments. We start by choosing a new user segment. We then filter on all customers again, but this time keeping the users who have opened their email in the last 2 months. For this, we will add a filter of event type called email opened, then followed by an event timestamp filter. We select the last 2 months. We can now preview this segment and generate its segment again. As we can see, 388 customers have opened their emails in the last 2 months. We then name the segment Email Openers 2M this time and give it a quick description. Users who have opened email in last 2 months this time. We can then create the segment. Once this segment is created, we can go ahead and generate another user segment in which we will add all customers and filter with an existing segment, the email openers 2M, so the segment we just created. We preview, we fall back on 612 users, we generate the segment, and we give it a name once again. So here we can name it non-openers V2. And we also add a description. One more time we create the segment. Once it's created, we will see all 3 segments in the list, 2 of which will have the same numbers, 612, confirming that this segment can be created both ways. Now that we have our non-openers segment, we click on the segment we want to use, then on Activate. We are given the destination options. Let's send this data to Google Ads and properly activate it. We can choose to modify some advanced configuration settings, where we are given the option to confirm granted access to user data, to rename model fields to match those of Google Ads if needed, such the email field, the first name or last name, to make sure Google Ads receives the data properly. We also have the option of scheduling an automatic and recurring audience update time. For instance, here we choose a daily audience update and set the recurrence at 7 a.m. so the audience updates automatically every morning at 7. You can then save these settings and activate your data to Google Ads, and that's it. We click on Activate to send the audience to Google Ads. The status is still running, as we have just activated it, but will change to active once the segment is entirely sent and implemented. If we want to check any of the activation settings or run history, We can simply click on the activation and an overview will pop up with our run history and a Setup tab. In the Setup tab, we will find the same configuration settings as earlier. We have the option to add a field mapping, change the update schedule, and so on. And that's it. To sum up, in this video, we've seen how to create a segment in 2 ways and activate your data quickly to re-engage your customers. Feel free to leave a comment or contact us if you have any questions, and subscribe to the DinMo channel to discover more features and use cases.